Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Woodshop, howdy. Well, it's good to be back in the saddle again, I can tell you. We've been snowed in here. I've got cabin fever, and I haven't touched a chisel to wood in a little more than 2 weeks. And it's 36 degrees in here right now, and it's cold, and I'll have my heater running here in a minute. Well, what I've got here is a little cherry blank. It's about 5 inches this way, about 6.5 inches this way, and about 3 inches deep. I've cut a clearance hole for my chuck jaws. I've drilled a hole for my woodworm screw. We're going to get this mounted up and turn a little cherry ball. Don't go anywhere. Now this is small enough that I probably don't need tailstock support, but I will use it at least till I get these corners knocked off. So we'll bring that up. I'm going to approach from the top side down, and the reason is I want to keep this bark on. I want it to be a live edge piece. So I'm just going to be working this way to whittle away those corners, and we'll stop somewhere when we get it near round. I like to stop often just to see where we are, see if there's some kind of design opportunity I don't want to pass through, and so far it doesn't look like it. We'll just keep making it round. See if I can't pick the speed up a little. I think so. About 16, almost 1700. See if we got rid of those flat spots. We did. Okay, I'll get set up to start working this way and put a tenon on the bottom. So it turns nice. Now I just want to take my diamond point tool and square up the sides on this tenon. Okay, that'll do nicely. Go back to work on the side profile. I noticed a small crack developing here, so I took a minute to hit it with some CA, and we'll get back to turning. I think we'll call this the honey pot. Kind of looks like a honey pot, but I'm not going to make a dipper because I don't want to. I'm going to go to a 3/8 inch bowl gouge for a minute just to clean up this bottom. Well, time for sanding. Boy, that was quick. I like this high-speed stuff. Starting in reverse at 350 RPM. Then we'll switch to forward. And that's what it's going to look like. I'm starting at 120 grit, and I'll work up through 400. I'll bring you back when it's time to put some finish on here. This is just going to be a cute little thing, that's all. I'm not sure what the diameter is right now. Looks like maybe 4.5 inches or so. And like I said, I think it looks like a honey pot. I wouldn't necessarily use it for that because of the bug holes, but it would make a... If you did turn a honey dipper to go with it, it would make a nice little display piece, but I don't think I would use it for that. Now with all those bug holes in there, I'm going to take some of my Howard feed and wax and just put it on this little brush and brush it into those bug holes, just so that it has an even color. Oh, and by the way, I did microwave this before I got started, so if there's any bugs still present, which I kind of doubt, I haven't seen anything, they're not moving anymore. So I'll get this all applied and give it about a half an hour to dry, because it's, like I say, it's pretty cold out here. And I'll buff it up and I'll bring you back when it's time to start hollowing this thing out. And it's going to go quick because I can turn at such a higher speed, probably about 2,000 when we start hollowing. So see you in a bit. Okay, the finish is done on the outside. I've got it mounted up in the chuck on the tenon. I've sharpened up my 1/2 inch standard grind bowl gouge. We're going to be turning at 2100 RPM. I just want to see where I am on the rim here. Yeah, that's about thin enough, I'd say. Get a little more support in there. I'm going to check my depth, just because turning at this high speed always catches me unawares. Now we're good. Got about a 1/2 inch yet. Well, about all I can do is scrape it. I can't get that corner. It's just too sharp. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, yeah, that got it. Okay. Boy, I haven't turned anything this small in quite a while. This is kind of cute. Time for sanding. Well, the truth of the matter is I could probably get away without sanding at all. This is just very smooth. I'm real tickled about that. But I'm going to sand anyway. I'm going to start at 240 and work up to 400 just in case I'm not feeling something, but it sure feels good to me and it looks good. And I'm going to use my 2-inch disc sander. So that's what it's going to look like. I'll bring you back when it's time to put some finish on here. The sanding went better than I thought it would. I thought I'd have trouble with the tight quarters here, but I had just the right amount of room. And it does feel smoother, so I guess I'm glad I did it. Gotta love cherry bark. Beautiful, beautiful. Just really sets the wood off. And then just like I did on the outside, I'm gonna take a little brush and dab some finish into these bug holes. They are plentiful. And I know a lot of people don't like bug holes, and a lot of people do like them. I can't explain one way or the other. Either you do or you don't. I'm not even sure how I feel about them, except that they're natural. They were there when I started. They're there when I finished. And I just like as much nature in each piece that I can get. So I will let this dry for 20 minutes, buff it up, and I'll bring you back when it's time to take off that tenon, and we'll be just about done. It's a cutie. Well, I've got a little bit of a problem here. I'm doing this exactly the way I usually do it, which is I have a block of wood mounted in my chuck, and then a piece of non-slip cloth and then bring up the tailstock and remove the tenon. Problem is, that block of wood that I have in there isn't doing anything. It's not reaching that far because this opening is too small to fit over my chuck. Now I could turn another piece of wood to fit in there because I don't have one, but I don't want to. I don't want to take the time. I'm cold. It's late. So I'm just going to chance this. There's some wobble to it. Biggest problem with that is I might not get a nice even finish on the bottom of the bowl. We're just going to have to wait and find out. So I'm going to turn the speed up here to about 500 and just start working this away. Also, I'm not pushing really hard with the live center because I don't want to split the bowl open because it is setting on the chuck with that non-slip cloth in between. So it's possible if I was to get under this that this bowl could pop out of here. So I'm just hoping none of that happens. I'm just going to take it easy. I'm using a 3/8 inch standard grind bowl gouge to do this. Well, so far so good. Let's check for clearance. Well, we got clearance, so that's good. Just keep working it away. Okay, let's switch to a swept back gouge so I can get in there a little tighter. I'm also going to adjust my tool rest a little closer, and I'm going to slow the speed down about 300, 340 actually. And now I'm going to slow it down to about 200. I'm just going to place the bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl and press towards the headstock. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch. And what do you know? We got lucky. I could use a little luck right now. And then I'll just take this over to the workbench and sand that up. Well, there it is. One little cherry bowl. Ended up being 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches. 4.5 diameter. 2.5 high. There's the bottom finished up. There's the bug holes. Ooh, lots of them. Matching on the inside. Cool bark. I like this little project because it was so quick and easy to do, and it'll fit on any old lathe. You got a 10-inch lathe, you got an 8-inch lathe, this'll work for you. One cherry live edge bowl in the books. I'm not gonna call it a honey pot because somebody will get after me. You can't put honey in there, okay. It's just a little live edge bowl. If you like this video, thumbs up please, I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly, I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, unless it's snowing like a son of a gun, and I'd like to keep in touch. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.